Foods to avoid. After age 50, did you know that what you ate at 30 might not work for your body at 50, 60, or 70? It's true. Your body changes as you age, and so should your diet. But here's the thing. No one ever sits us down and explains which foods we should start avoiding as we get older. That chocolate cake that gave you a sugar rush in your 30s? Now it might be causing inflammation that keeps you up at night. That extra-large soda you could drink without thinking twice? Now it might be affecting your blood sugar in ways you never expected. Today, I'm going to share the top 5 foods you should consider limiting or avoiding after 50. And more importantly, what to eat instead. These simple swaps could help you feel better tomorrow and stay healthier for years to come. Stay with me. This information could change how you feel every single day. Hello, and welcome back to Healthy Living After 50. And I'm so glad you've joined me today. If you're new here, this channel is all about practical, science-backed ways to feel your best in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Today we're talking about something that affects all of us every single day, the food we eat. Specifically, we're looking at foods that might have been fine when we were younger but can cause problems as we age. Now, I'm not here to take away all your favorite foods or make you feel guilty about what you eat. I want to give you information that empowers you to make choices that help you feel your best. Because when you feel good, you can do more of what you love with the people you love. And isn't that what life is all about? So let's dive into the 5 foods that might be worth reconsidering after age 50, and the better alternatives that can help you thrive. Food number 1. Sugary snacks and desserts. The inflammation connection. 3 minutes. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to inflammation, and few things trigger inflammation like sugar does. That temporary pleasure of a sugary treat can lead to joint pain, skin problems, and even mood changes that last much longer than the sweet taste. Sugar also affects our blood glucose levels, which become harder to regulate after 50. Those sugar spikes and crashes can leave you feeling tired, irritable, and craving even more sugar. A cycle that's hard to break. What's more, after 50, many of us need fewer calories but more nutrients. Sugar gives you calories with virtually no nutritional benefit, what nutritionists call empty calories. Every sugary bite essentially takes the place of something that could be nourishing your body. I remember working with Diane, who came to me with persistent joint pain at age 58. She didn't think her diet was particularly unhealthy, but when we looked closely, we discovered she had a daily habit of having a large muffin and sweetened coffee for breakfast, plus a couple of cookies in the afternoon. When she replaced these with more nutritious options, her joint pain improved significantly within just 3 weeks. Now, I'm not suggesting you never enjoy dessert again. That's not realistic or necessary. Instead, try these approaches. Save sweets for special occasions rather than making them daily habits. Try fruit-based desserts that contain fiber, which helps slow sugar absorption. Experiment with natural sweeteners like a small amount of honey or maple syrup. Gradually reduce sugar in recipes. Your taste buds will adjust over time. Dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher, can satisfy a sweet craving with less sugar and some antioxidant benefits. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making better choices most of the time. What small change could you make this week to reduce sugar in your diet? Food 2. Highly processed foods. The convenience trap. 3 minutes. Our second category is highly processed foods. Those convenient packaged items that make life easier, but might be making your health harder to maintain. What exactly are highly processed foods? I'm talking about products that are far removed from their original ingredients. Things like frozen dinners, packaged snacks, breakfast cereals with long ingredient lists, and fast food. These foods are designed to be convenient and tasty, but that convenience comes at a cost. Highly processed foods typically contain excessive sodium, which can raise blood pressure and increase water retention, refined carbohydrates that spike blood sugar, unhealthy fats that promote inflammation, chemical preservatives and additives that your body has to process and eliminate, lower fiber content, which affects digestion and gut health. After 50, your digestive system becomes more sensitive, and your metabolism naturally slows down. This means processed foods can cause more digestive discomfort and weight gain than they did when you were younger. My client James struggled with heartburn and indigestion for years. At 67, he was taking multiple medications for these issues. When we looked at his diet, we found that most of his meals came from boxes, cans, or drive-thrus. It was convenient because he lived alone and didn't enjoy cooking. We started with just one homemade meal a day, something simple like scrambled eggs with vegetables or a basic soup. Within a month, his digestive symptoms had improved so much that his doctor was able to reduce his medication. Now, I understand that convenience matters. We all have busy lives, regardless of age. The good news is that there are better options that are still convenient. Pre-cut vegetables and salad kits can make healthy cooking faster. Rotisserie chicken is a convenient protein that's less processed than many alternatives: canned beans, tuna, or salmon. Look for low-sodium options. Frozen fruits and vegetables without added sauces or seasonings. Simple meals you can batch cook and freeze in portions. The key is to look for foods with short, recognizable ingredient lists. If you can't pronounce most of the ingredients or wouldn't find them in a typical kitchen, that's a sign the food is highly processed. What's one processed food you could replace with a less processed alternative this week? Food number 3, excessive sodium, hidden in plain sight. 3 minutes. Our third category is foods with excessive sodium. And this one is tricky because salt hides in so many places you might not expect. As we age, many of us become more sensitive to sodium's effects. Your blood pressure might rise more in response to salt, and your kidneys may not clear sodium as efficiently as they once did. High sodium intake is linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and even bone loss. All concerns that become more important after 50. The challenge is that about 70% of the sodium in our diets doesn't come from our salt shakers. It comes from processed and restaurant foods. A single restaurant meal can easily contain more sodium than you should consume in an entire day. Some of the biggest sodium culprits include canned soups and broths, deli meats, and cured meats like bacon and sausage frozen, meals, pizza bread and rolls sandwiches, cheese condiments like soy sauce, salad dressings, and pasta sauces. I worked with a woman named Patricia, who was frustrated because she'd been diagnosed with high blood pressure at 64, despite being active and maintaining a healthy weight. When we analyzed her diet, we discovered she was consuming massive amounts of sodium without realizing it. Her breakfast toast, lunchtime soup, afternoon cheese snack, and pasta dinner all contributed significant sodium, even though she never added salt while cooking. We made simple swaps, choosing low-sodium versions of her favorite products, using herbs and spices instead of salt for flavor, and cooking more meals from scratch. Within 2 months, her blood pressure improved enough that her doctor reduced her medication. Here are some practical ways to reduce sodium in your diet. Read labels and choose products with less sodium. Rinse canned beans and vegetables to remove up to 40% of the sodium. Use herbs, spices, citrus, and vinegars to add flavor without salt. When dining out, ask for sauces and dressings on the side. Cook more meals at home where you control the ingredients. Your taste buds will adjust to less salt over time, typically within 1 to 2 weeks. Foods that once tasted normal might start tasting too salty as your palate adjusts, which is actually a good sign. How much sodium should you aim for? The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milliliters per day, with an ideal limit of 1,500 milliliters for most adults, especially those with high blood pressure or heart concerns. Food number 4. Excessive red and processed meats. Our fourth category is red and processed meats. This includes steaks, burgers, pork, lamb, and processed meats like hot dogs, bacon, sausage, and deli meats. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a vegetarian, though that's certainly an option if it appeals to you. But research consistently shows that high consumption of red meat, and especially processed meats, is associated with increased risks of heart disease, certain cancers, and other chronic conditions. These risks become more significant as we age. After 50, your protein needs actually increase slightly to help maintain muscle mass, but the source of that protein matters. Red meat does provide complete protein, iron, and B vitamins, but it also contains saturated fat and, in the case of processed meats, preservatives like nitrates, that may cause problems over time. My client Robert was a self-described meat and potatoes guy who ate red meat almost daily. At 72, his cholesterol was high, and he was beginning to have digestive. He wasn't willing to give up meat entirely, so we worked on a balanced approach, limiting red meat to once or twice a week, choosing leaner cuts, and exploring other protein sources for the remaining days. Within 3 months, his cholesterol improved, and his digestive issues resolved. Here's a balanced approach to consider. Limit red meat to 1 or 2 servings per week. In portions about the size of a deck of cards, choose leaner cuts and trim visible. Fat-save processed meats like bacon and sausage for occasional treats, rather than daily staples. Explore other protein sources like fish and seafood. Aim for 2 to 3 servings weekly, especially fatty fish like salmon. Poultry, without the skin eggs. Beans, lentils, and other legumes. Nuts and seeds. Dairy or plant-based alternatives. Many of my clients find that a flexitarian approach works well, mostly plant-based with moderate amounts of animal proteins. This gives you the nutritional benefits of plant foods while still enjoying some meat. Remember, this isn't about deprivation. It's about finding a sustainable balance that supports your health as you age. What's one way you could adjust your meat consumption this week? Food. Number 5. Excessive alcohol. This one can be particularly challenging to talk about because drinking is so woven into our social fabric. But the truth is that our bodies process alcohol differently as we age. And what worked for us at 30 or 40 may not work the same at 60 or 70. After 50, several changes affect how alcohol impacts your body. Your body contains less water and more fat, which increases blood alcohol concentration. Your liver processes alcohol more slowly. Alcohol can interact with medications, and many people take more medications as they age. Alcohol can worsen health conditions that become more common with age, like diabetes, high blood pressure, and liver problems. Even moderate drinking is now linked to increased cancer. Risk sleep is another important consideration. While alcohol might help you fall asleep initially, it disrupts your sleep cycles and often causes middle-of-the-night waking. Quality sleep becomes more challenging as we age, and alcohol can make this worse. I worked with a woman named Carol who enjoyed her nightly glass of wine, which had gradually increased to 2 or 3 glasses most evenings. At 65, she was struggling with poor sleep, morning headaches, and weight gain around her midsection. She was reluctant to consider that her moderate drinking might be contributing to these issues. We agreed to a 2-week experiment where she limited alcohol to weekends only. The improvement in her sleep and morning energy was so dramatic that she decided to make this change permanent. If you do choose to drink, current guidelines suggest women, up to 1 drink per day. Men, up to 2 drinks per day. And remember, a drink is 5 ounces of wine, 12 ounces of beer, 1.5 ounces of spirits. Many health organizations now suggest that less is better when it comes to alcohol, and that the healthiest choice may be not drinking at all. If you enjoy the ritual of a drink, consider these alternatives: sparkling water with a splash of juice and herbs kombucha, low-sugar varieties, alcohol-free beer or wine. These have improved tremendously in recent years. Herbal teas, either hot or iced. The key is to be honest with yourself about your habits and how alcohol affects you personally. How does alcohol fit into your health goals after 50? We've covered a lot today. The 5 food categories that might be worth reconsidering after 50. Sugary snacks, highly processed foods, high sodium foods, excessive red and processed meats, and alcohol. Remember, this isn't about strict rules or never enjoying your favorite foods again. It's about making informed choices that help you feel your best so you can fully enjoy this chapter of your life. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these food categories surprised you? Which one might you work on adjusting first? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. We post new videos every week with practical advice for living your healthiest life after 50. And if you're looking for delicious recipes that avoid these problematic foods, check out our video, Healthy Meal Ideas for People Over 50. I'll link to it at the end of this video and in the description. Also, download our free food swap guide from the description below. It's a handy reference with specific alternatives for each category we discussed today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, small changes to your diet can lead to big improvements in how you feel. You don't have to change everything at once. Even one better choice today is a step in the right direction. I believe that with the right information and support, you can make this chapter of your life healthy, vibrant, and fulfilling. Your body may be changing, but that doesn't mean you can't feel great. Until next time, this is Presenter Name from Healthy Living After 50, reminding you that it's never too late to make choices that help you thrive. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.